Welcome to the IME Board of Trustees of the Electric, Water, and Communication Utilities, May 8th, 2023 meeting. Jackie, will you please take roll call?
Board Member Selgrade?
Present.
White?
Here.
Smith?
Present.
Rozga?
Yes.
Voights?
At this time, we welcome anybody from the public to step forward with comment to the podium. Please state your name and address before you speak to the crowd. And at this point, I see no public stepping forward, so we're going to jump into the consent agenda. I need a first and second motion to discuss and approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the claims that was distributed?
I just had one question. There was a claim there for 24,1850 for the Iowa Utilities Board. It says IUB labor.
We're going through our franchise fee renewal, and throughout that process, we're submitting forms. We get billed for the time it takes the IUB to review those forms. And
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
Do they have an hourly rate that they charge?
Must be pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's
Or is it more of an incident rate?
it's at different levels, so different staff people have different rates. There's not one rate for it.
Interesting. Any other questions or on the claims? How about the March financial report? Doug Schul's here to help us walk through it.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees. The report is for 2023. And Chris does just a wonderful job, so the footnotes kind of explain everything, so quickly I might pick up a footnote or two, but the revenues for the first 9 months are pretty much 75%, so that's on schedule. The revenues for the fiber other are 35%, but she explained about we haven't billed for some services I think that we perform. The expenses look to be about at 75%. Again, that's good. The capital expenditures, which is all timing, when you get it done and when you don't get it done, and most of those are somewhere around 25 or 30%, so we know that's timing. On the bond rating, which is always very, very important, I'd like to have about 110 days on the cash, but one of them has 333 and one of them has 334, and fiber's 110. I guess the closing comment will be 3 months to go. Looks like we're pretty much on schedule, except for the capital items. But that would be my report, subject to any questions. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Chris, for helping prepare that.
And I'll just add a note on the other fiber revenue. I think last week we got some paperwork in place to start that process. Is that correct?
So is there a lot of process with that, or is it just more of a collections kind of?
Yeah, it was a combination of millions of dollars. We're currently working on the software out now, so we're able to kind of pull some of that out.
Okay.
And then we've also got an advance payment for federal equipment. I think also surrounding.
Okay. Other questions on the finances? How about questions or discussion around the minutes from last meeting? And then finally, we have a resolution approving salaries. We have 2 new employees beginning. If I can find here. The action sets salaries in accordance with the Personnel Management Guide and Union Contract. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Indianola has Clay Collier, apprentice lineman, at $58,339 a year effective May 15th, and Tristan Menace, water operator 1, for $55,603 a year effective May 15th. Any questions or conversations? Any additional comment from you guys? Congratulations on getting the water operator hired so quickly. Okay, With that then, we've got a motion for first and second.
Second.
We've already got that. Jackie, will you take roll call, please?
Board Member Smith?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Selby?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda is approved. Moving on to electric utility informational items, Mike?
Yeah, we just mainly continue to work on the downtown project on the south side of the alley. It's definitely slow go. There's just tight spaces, and days like today, not real productive when it's like a pond back there. But got it pumped out, and hopefully it'll start drying. We did have quite a bit of wind here in the last week. We did have a couple bumps out on the line. One was a capacitor bank that we lost a tail on. We worked on it today as well. And then up behind our plant, another deal with a wind with a tail that had flashed across. So nothing that knocked anybody out of power, but just stuff that we had out of that wind event. I know we talked about the transmission line. We had the 2 replaced. We got the other 2 coming up. They'll be here next week to do that. And then the crew cab truck is in transit. Should see it this month. We'll see.
How
We'll
are
see.
they transporting it?
That's good. I didn't ask. I'm just glad it's in transit. And then I'll be, next week, part of the IMU electric committee will be up there instructing during the electric distribution workshop. So.
Did I hear that the alley work has now been extended again?
There is some extension there. Mid-American Energy's gas, they're working to get that relocated. And I know we met them on site, not this past Friday, the Friday before, and they were putting the wheels in motion to get it engineered and get in there. So they'll be right in behind us as part of that.
And that has been scheduled? Or do
As
you
far
know?
as Mid-American,
Yeah.
just from what they told us that they're working on, I don't know their exact. Yep. And one last quick thing, I guess, would be Petrotech, or on the Turbine 8 controls. We're still meeting bi-weekly. Everything's still moving forward with that as we thought it would.
Questions for Mike? Okay.
How's the board going? Have you done any more?
Yeah, no, we have. We've done some more boring. We've got one of our back reamers when we're pulling bigger packages of conduit back. With the dirt was kind of getting clogged up into the back reamer. We had reamer it back down, and just this last week, and they're bringing us a new, different back reamer to try out this next time. So he thinks it'll be a better fit for what we have for our type of soil down here. So yeah, besides that, I mean, they've picked up on it really quick. And as far as being able to push out how to operate it, it's just getting the tooling correct.
Oh, you would have to mention that.
No, we haven't broken anything yet. Next week we will.
Okay, moving on to the water utility actions. We have a first and second motion to approve a water waiver request from Memorial Building Commission for water consumption. And take a first and second motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Chris or Justin, you want to talk to this?
I'll kind of mention maybe some information for Justin. I think he's brought up to speed. Traditionally, the Board of Trustees has elected to donate what is amounted to 1.5 million gallons of water to the Veterans Memorial Pool. This request is to do that. Now, last year they did use substantially more than 1.5 million gallons, and they are aware of that and working to fix any of the problems. They used 2.6 million gallons. So our donation last year did end at the $1.5 million, and we billed them for the rest of the group, or rest of the water. So again, Afton has asked that the board once again consider the donation of 1.5 million gallons, or the dollars that would equate to 1.5 million gallons of water, which represent the normal pool usage for a year.
Questions or discussion?
I'm just curious, just from a dollars and cents perspective, that represents about how much to us if we were to actually sell that?
Oh, I think it's gonna be about $11,000, $11,500.
Okay.
Any other conversation? All in favor of approving the 1.5 million gallons?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will provide the 1.5 million gallons of water to the Veterans Memorial Pool. Justin, moving on to the water utility items.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot, nothing new. Our luck for main breaks ended on Saturday. We did have a water main break on Saturday, the guys fixed. Unfortunately, it was in the street, so we'll have another street repair to do, but
Where was it located?
at the intersection of North J and West Clinton. So they dug first in the parking, hoping for a break, obviously didn't get it, so. It's all rock back now. We'll let it get compacted, and then as time allows, we'll get it replaced. It's on a corner, so it's not really heavily traveled section, so it shouldn't be a big issue, but we'll, as time allows, get it put back together.
So is it an age of the water main, or do we know
Just,
luck?
yeah. And then right now with the ground being so dry as well, I know we had a few rains, but it's until we get some more moisture, I have a feeling we're gonna start battling these. So hopefully we'll get some rain and solve some of these issues, but
As long as it doesn't rain into his.
rain Mike out,
alleyway.
yeah. Other than that, flushing hydrants still. It's kind of been slow go, just working on the square. And then they're going to start hopefully doing water main next week, so that'll keep us busy. As well as I think I heard today that Hillcrest will be started on next Monday too, and there's some possible main relocations there, which isn't any work for us, but we'll have to monitor it and shut down if needed. So we'll be working with the contractor on that. And that's all I have. It'd be nice to get back to full staff again, so hopefully get some work done that we need. to get
I
done.
actually, is it Monday or Tuesday that they're starting construction? I thought I saw Tuesday.
Okay, this is 16th, maybe it's Tuesday.
Okay. I was more concerned about what road I was going to take in and out.
And then lastly, I called our contractor on well 11. He was out last week. I called him again today and didn't hear back, so hopefully by the next meeting I'll have some more information on that.
Questions for Justin? Okay. Moving on to the communications utility items. Kurt?
Yeah, we're kind of busy with people as well. We just started out the expires last Wednesday. That's all going fairly well. Still working out some little more processes on the install stuff. And we'll get those little items smoothed out. Last update, I don't know if I'll be behind you, but our call meeting on Wednesday, but as of May 2nd, we have 36, a little over 36,000 foot cloud and conduit, about 8,600 board. That represents about 22% of the project. So we're making progress, and they were also part of the well too. Still working in between not full and 100%. I expect that to probably have that wrapped up. And then other than that, the north and south, working up 96 county installed. They picked up the 24 county on Thursday or Friday. There's only about a half mile left, so they can finish that up there. So once we get done with that, then we've got a little bit of aerial work to do to get over to where we're going to splice that the water plants, and then we'll splice the rest of it.
So what did we decide about the river? Do we have any issues going over around above?
No, they did that the very first thing this spring, and
Good. True. True. Good spring to do it. Okay. Questions for Kurt? Okay. Moving on to the combined electric, water, and communication items. Alicia shared the CSR log. Talk us through that.
Yep, I shared the CSR log with you guys last week. Didn't know if you had any questions. I'd like to just add that I think that we are down on calls just due to more people paying online. And then also, as far as like our distressed accounts and everything, we're getting more emails nowadays than we are like phone calls from the assistants. And then also I just think it's, our staff in general has just streamlined the process better and explaining our bills and just answering questions in general helps. So,
I noticed the scam kind of alerts, and that tends to set everybody in motion. Do we have a good way to recognize that, or do we wait until we get a call? How do we recognize something's on the make?
usually it's just somebody calls in and says they received a phone call that they're going to get their electric disconnected if they didn't pay such and such amount. We don't know otherwise unless we see something on Facebook or somewhere. Yeah, that's really the only way.
This is the world we live in, I suppose.
So we get quite a few of those.
Yeah, and sometimes, so it's transfer and then scam alerts. So transfers to other departments as well. So it's not just scams.
Oh,
but
okay.
there are times where it does go in spurts of having, you know, 5 calls a week or something for it. It just depends. A lot of times it's during the winter, I feel like, too, also, people know that people can, it's high bills.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Do we have people also taking advantage of the messaging functions also? I know when I've done a thing or two, I sometimes have had an opportunity to not actually speak to an individual, but kind of do more of a, I guess I would call it a text message or something.
I don't think
The chat function, that's
Yeah.
for fiber tech support.
Yeah.
Well, that's only fiber. Okay.
Yeah. But people are using email more, I feel, too, though. I would say last week we've probably got, 5 or more emails from just customers about just, internet or their bill or something, or they're moving also.
So if they're moving, they don't necessarily have to engage. I mean, they just start the process that way.
Yep. They can send us the application online or through the email and everything, and or release whatever they need to do. It just helps people out 'cause some people can't get into town. And they send us an ID, so of course we verify, and then we call, and we do make sure that nobody's just
So I don't undo Mike's electric.
Yeah.
unintentionally.
Is there any reason why we do the transfer and scam alerts under the same? They just seem rather different. I guess.
Yeah, I don't really know why we do have that under there. We can switch that out. We can just kind of move it. We can move anything that you guys want to do on here. It can be moved around. I'm not sure why we have it there, but I don't know if we just didn't have anywhere else to put it, or trying to keep it just short and, sweet, not too long. Because it was a lot longer than
Yeah, it
this.
just felt like all the other ones kind of
Flow
similar to
together,
each other.
yeah.
And you got scam alerts and transfers.
So this is something that Ella's just been working, I think, with her team.
Monica,
and she and I have talked a lot about, this is really good information, and she's been really good about organizing it in a way that makes sense. So if you guys have suggestions about that.
Well, I agree with Dom, because the thing to me is if all of a sudden we see, 50% of those are scams,
Right.
then that's the thing. And then I guess my follow-up question would be, what are we doing then to potentially notify folks on social media or whatever to say,
We
hey?
do. Yep, we'll post if we get quite a few of them. We will put something on Facebook that states what's going on out there too. Yeah.
Yeah, so this information is really just, it's more retroactive, but it's giving us a sense for the time that the team spends on what kinds of topics. And I know we talked a little bit about this when we were doing the allocation for shared services earlier this spring for the budget work, kind of how our customer service fits in and how that plays across all the different services. So if you do have suggestions,
No, it's
please
just-
share that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my thing. It seemed like it was a,
Yeah, we can move that. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's good information, and
absolutely.
appreciate you guys collecting it. And unfortunately, it's a manual collection. We don't have a good
Yeah,
way
well,
to
that's a pain, I know that. Is there anything on here that surprises you as you look at the numbers?
Really the one that surprised me a lot is just looking through would be the distress account and write-off assistance. Just even going from last year to this year, I guess I thought that maybe we'd still be high. I don't take a lot of the phone calls, but I just feel like that number would have been a lot higher in March. I don't know, feel
After
like.
winter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't feel like we had as many going into the end of the light heap season as we normally do. So, which is great.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
good
an
thing.
interesting
Yes.
kind of event. I wonder if we'll trend to see that the same next year.
I hope so. I hope we just educate better and try to get people to be proactive, you know, rather than just waiting till the last minute and then all of a sudden panicking. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing.
Yep, you're welcome.
Chris, other topics?
Yeah, I've got a couple things to update. Most exciting or pressing, I know some of you were there. Our special use permit was passed 4-0 through the Board of Adjustments. So, you know, that is kind of the last of the compliance-related hurdles. Right now, we're shifting over into, you know, construction planning. So from here on out, it's kind of going to be weather related and supply chain related, but our solar plant is moving forward.
And I don't know, for those of you that weren't at the meeting, I don't know if you watched the meeting, but Rocky, was it Marco, his brother?
Marco's brother.
They came to the meeting, and so I thought that was a really good kind of demonstration of what it means. And he spoke kind of passionately about what solar means to Iowa, or what it means for him to be in Iowa.
I strongly considered going, but I knew others were, and I didn't want to kind of feel like a mob.
Well, my point was, that I thought it was great that they were there. I thought it was a
Yeah.
really good display of their interest in us moving forward, and they were very complimentary of the team working with them. So all of you that had a part in that, thank you.
When do they break ground?
They are working out all the scheduling. I know they're going to change some of they were going to start the piling construction first, I think, given some issues in the other sites. I think they're going to do the fencing around the outside for site security first. So a little bit in flux, but I still expect them to start commencing mid to end of
The fall. I think he's just talking about the prep work.
Oh. Yeah, all the site work and prep work.
Right. And then we did talk about potentially doing some sort of communication to kick that off. I know that you still have that on your list of things to think about. So
Yep, we'll put that together. We're working with them, and as soon as we get some times and dates and everything finished up, now really is working on all that stuff in earnest. That the path is now clear, so getting all that scheduled.
So one of in all of my conversations last week, kind of ahead of that meeting, one of the questions I received was, would it be possible for us to do a study session with the city council, just to give them some background? So I don't know if we want to wait till closer till fall when we're ready to kick off, but maybe sharing some details about the farm and how we're thinking about it, what it needs to. I don't think it has to be long and complicated, but really just to get everybody kind of on the same page about what we're doing and how we're moving forward. So something to put on your thought process to see if it makes sense.
No, we can do that. That shouldn't be a problem. And, you know, like I said, once we've got stuff organized and I get a calendar that they're going to commit to, we'll wrap that all around the installation.
All right, thank you.
I was at the Green Energy Trends Workshop last week. That was a good meeting. I kind of represented the municipal utility thought process, but I was there with my Patriots. Talking transmission-related issues. It was good to hear from the Alliant folks and the Mid-Am folks about their future intents. So that was a great informational meeting, and I'm glad I could participate. Our July 20th, our IAMU strategic planning update session, that is confirmed, so we'll get some information out and planning on doing that on the 20th. We have We're going to be full staff again for the first time in a few months as of 5/15, so welcome and Clay Collier, our last two hires we mentioned earlier this meeting. Glad to have them aboard, and I'm sure all the rest of the team is excited for them to join. On this week, on 5/11, we have our employee appreciation event, and so again, just want to extend my thanks to staff. This is something we've done annually. It's been well received, and it's kind of from our team up here. It's a bit of a thank you for everything that everyone does, and so to all of you that can attend, please do so. But if not, we'll pass on any thanks that you have.
Can you remind us of the time? What time?
It's at 11:30.
And where's it at?
It's going to be the electric line shop. Mic shop.
We're getting up before. How about the banking issue that we ran into?
Yep, so, probably a week and a half ago now, Shazam had a ACH-related issue, and, well, I guess I should say, as I understand, Shazam had an ACH issue. I don't know that any of this has been officially confirmed, but it appears that our prior bank, they work with Shazam. Shazam had some ACH files from 2015 and 2016 that got ran that impacted some of the utility payments in the form of ACHs, as well as both city and IMU staff for any of those ACH that were duplicated. All of those, Shazam has corrected all of those, and the banks that they worked with had corrected those. So again, anybody out there that still has an issue, contact your bank. But again, just for confidence related, that was an issue that wasn't related to us. That was, a banking related issue, and it certainly was much larger. While our employees were affected, it certainly was much larger effect, definitely in the region, if not the whole state.
Was this a debit or a credit or both?
Depending on what ACHs were initiated. So our staff got paid several times, and likewise, if you had your if you had your utilities debited, those would have been debited from your account. So depending on what those, I don't know what specific dates or what the specific problem, nothing's been confirmed to us.
But they did pick a file up from 2017, isn't that what I saw?
Yeah, I had heard 15 and 16, but
I saw it documented 2017, so I don't know for certain, but somehow they got bad data from an old claim or an old file, and it was processed, and then they backed it out.
Yep. So that all should be corrected now, and apologize for any, difficulties that anybody had, but that was.
And there is a footnote, we don't bank with that bank any longer, is that true?
We don't bank with that particular bank anymore, but our current vendor still uses Shazam as their ACH processing, so.
But they didn't have a problem.
But they didn't have a problem with that, so, again, not knowing specifically what the problem was, just hearing kind of anecdotally that some things happened and problems occurred.
So it wasn't just us, it was a whole bunch of companies.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And multiple banks.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple banks, multiple companies. Shazam seems to be the common denominator, but a lot of fingers were pointing that direction. But
do we know how many of our customers and/or employees were affected?
I think any of the employees that, whatever dates those were originated, any employees that worked there at that time.
It would have been our full payroll.
Yeah, I'm worried more about debits than I am credits, because if someone got money taken out of their account and then something else tried to clear,
We did have a number of people definitely did call, but do you have any idea of quantity?
that's all right.
So that was lucky, yeah. Because it could have caused some, I think where you're going, those could have caused some unfortunate scenarios.
Yeah, as I understand, it was, issued one day and corrected the next day, and banks were taking steps to, minimize any impact. So if anybody out there still has questions, contact your bank, and that's probably the best. We don't have any way of looking or knowing specifically what happened. So if anybody's got any problems, contact your bank, and they're the best source to solve that.
Any other questions for Chris?
Where are we at on the clerk position?
We've got a couple of people doing training in the audience, and we'll have some further discussions, but, right now we're doing that training. Jackie, I think, has met with them one time, a couple times, getting them up to speed, so they're kind of testing themselves out, taking some notes, and we'll literally compare notes tomorrow and kind of talk through the process with Jackie.
Okay, good. Well, welcome. Anything else for Chris before we move on?
They might change their mind tomorrow.
Maybe we should lock the door until we compare. Okay, if nothing further, then I need a first and second motion to enter into closed session in accordance with Iowa Code, Section 21.5, I've got to read the whole thing, to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation, and individual requests a closed session. Jackie, would you please take, first and second.
Okay.
Would you take roll call now? We'll
Board
get it
Member
together.
Smith?
Yes.
Rosga?
Yes.
Selgrade?
Yes.
White? White?
Yes. Motion approved. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. You tonight.